What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is TammyTalks. I want to start with the definition of the word combative. If we could for a moment, got the Googler here, straight from the New Oxford American Dictionary, who we know, love, and trust as much as Merriam-Webster. Okay, combative is an adjective, ready or eager to fight, pugnacious. He made some enemies with his combative style. Combative, ready or eager to fight. Jessica is not combative. Jessica is direct. Jessica is assertive. You can say that Jessica is mean. Jessica definitely has RBF, but Jessica is not combative. If anything, Chris was combative. But let's talk about it. So I'm going to be recapping the last two episodes. Now, the TV guide, my direct TV stream guide, is saying episode 8 and then episode 10. So it's either 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. Somebody labeled something wrong. But I'm going to be going over the past two episodes. Didn't get a chance to do it last week because I was traveling. So if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. Let's talk about everything down below because there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk about last week's episode 8. So they are at this weekend getaway, right? We see everybody arriving. The ladies coming in. It seems like what is going to be their groupings for the remainder of the season. So we have Tommy. Tommy comes in and lets them know that, use this time to get to know each other. The bedroom is just a couple steps away. Why all these TV shows y'all just be wanting people to fuck? Why? Why is that like the first go-to that all these hosts have? But nonetheless, and everybody was like, oh, we ain't doing none of that. Oh my God. Because none of these connections are like real solid connections. But let's talk about it. So, he also lets them know that one of the women is going to be going home in the morning. So we see Quentin, he's out grilling. I'm just going to point out like major things from this episode because I don't have a lot of notes. Quentin is out grilling. Now, he has on some little shorts and he has his shirt off. So when he has his apron on, everybody is like, you look naked, bro. Why you look naked, bro? Like, it's a running joke. So Katerina is talking to Quentin, and Janelle is, always lurking somewhere very close by, because now that Herbert is gone, Janelle is like throwing all her eggs into Quentin's basket. So Quentin's out grilling. Katerina is talking to him. Janelle comes out and she's like, oh, Janelle, come join us. I don't mind sharing. Janelle is immediately on go. Oh, you ain't got to share because he's mine. That's my man. And it's like, Janelle, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary because we see that Quentin is all about you. You don't have to do all this. I promise you don't, sis. You don't have to do all this. Quentin wants you. So, nonetheless, Janelle was like, he's mine. I'm just sharing for the moment. And I think Katerina was like, does everybody know that? And Janelle was like, they're going to get to know him. If anybody's combative, it's Janelle. If anybody is combative, it's Janelle. So we get another scene where Sierra puts Marie on blast. So it's Janelle, let me see if I remember. It's Janelle, Aries, Jessica sitting at a table. Sierra's at the end. Marie comes over, sits at a chair that's close on the other side of the table, sits closer to Jessica. Sierra would say, no, you should be sitting here by me. I'd be damned if he gets up and goes and sits by Sierra. So Jessica is like kind of looking away, and she's like telling him, he asked her about her connections. And she's like, people need to realize the boss that I am, the goddess that I am, this whole spiel that Sierra has been doing. And they go off to the side, and she basically tells him that he needs to apply some pressure. He tells her that, you need to try to pursue me back as well. He said that, if I call you, how long is it going to take for you to return my call? She would say, well, I'm kind of busy, but I will get back to you. This is what bothers me about Sierra. Sierra is there for a good time. I don't think Sierra's there trying to find a long term relationship. Sierra wants to be chased. This in this environment, this is not the environment that a man is going to see you and chase you and solely chase you, and you don't have to do any work back. This ain't the Bachelorette. This is not what that is. And I think that Sierra really fucked around and found that out this episode, because the fact that she keeps saying you need to pursue me, y'all need to pursue me, I'm a goddess and I'm a boss and I'm a this and I'm a that, but a lot of the men are saying that you play too much, you're giving homie vibes, and you're not pursuing them back. So for Marie to tell you right now, you should, apply some pressure back to me, show me that you want me as well, and your response is, well, I mean, if you call, I guess I'll get back to you. Like, come on, girl. Come on now. Come on now. We gotta stop. Like, Sierra's playing games. She's playing games. So Marie says in his confessional that she's guarded and just unsure if the guys are willing to give her what she needs. I think Sierra is scared, and instead of her having like some real conversations with these men about that, she likes to pass it off with the jokes and all this other stuff. We see Jessica making Marie a plate. Sierra feels away, and she's like, see, I feel like I'm not being pursued. Girl, did you want him to make you a plate? I didn't understand this entire scene with Sierra. I didn't get it. But okay. Like, Sierra's not putting forth any effort whatsoever. But then you see Jessica putting forth effort by making him a plate, something very simple. And you feel that that's like disrespecting you or something. I don't understand Sierra. I don't. So we get to game night, and they're doing a game where they're asking each other a bunch of questions. We find out that Sierra has slept with a woman. She said it was the best sex she's ever had, but it's not somebody she can bring home to her mother. Chris said that he would not want to know a woman's body count. Marie does not think he has experienced love yet. But he also thinks that he is not allowed himself to experience it yet. So he might be a little guarded as well. Janelle says that she does not have an issue with traditional gender roles. Chris pipes up and said that he does not believe in the equality that society has going. Any woman that is there should have saw that as the biggest effing red flag. Chris does not believe in the equality of men and women in society today. He said that men are in leadership roles because women are just too emotional. Janelle and Katerina get into it about what it means to sit in your femininity versus a woman being on her shit being called masculine. I agreed with Janelle. Here's the thing, Janelle be making valid points, but it's always her delivery and her tone. I agree with that as well. You know what I mean? A woman that owns their own house, has a great ass job, can buy anything that they want for themselves, does the stuff that they need for themselves, and does not need a man to provide or take care of them like in that manner, is often felt or looked at as if they are not sitting in their femininity. And I guess I don't agree with that as well. So I was with Janelle. So Katerina, like, they end up going back and forth. It was a lot of yeah. Katerina calls her a rude ass bitch and walks away. Janelle said that she never starts shit, but these raggedy ass bitches keep starting things with her. She then later goes on to tell Quentin, is she supposed to back down from these ugly ass bitches? See, Janelle is insecure, and we have seen it from the beginning. Any chance that Janelle gets, she's calling these other women ugly. Not one woman in that room is ugly. Not a one. I don't think any of those women in that room are even remotely close to being broke. So, like, I feel like when that is women's go-to, when you ugly anyways, it's like, no, you don't think they're ugly. You're intimidated because they're just as pretty as you are. You're intimidated because they're just as successful as you are. You're intimidated because you are not just the top bitch that everybody is running up to. Because let's be real, none of them other men in that room are checking for Janelle outside of Quentin. Janelle has one connection. One connection. Whereas Katarina has a couple. Whereas Aries has a couple. Whereas, well, Sierra don't count because she ain't taking it serious. But whereas Lee has had a couple. Janelle's not pulling in the niggas the way that she thought she was going to. So she's intimidated by the women that are. My opinion, right? So we get to the chopping block the next morning, and later that night, before that, Sierra and Marie have a conversation. She realizes that, she might need to be a little bit more patient with him because he does not, he really doesn't know what love is. So now she realizes that she needs to put forth some more effort. And it's like, Sierra, girl, just bow out gracefully and go home yourself. Why even, whatever. So Lee is like leading a workout. I guess we know that Lee is like super into fitness. I think she's a personal trainer, and she's leading like a little hip hop step aerobics class or whatever. Janelle clearly don't want to do it. She keeps sitting down. She's on her phone. She's rolling her eyes. And Lee made a point to say in her confessional, she wonders how much of a fit Quentin and Janelle are going to be if Quentin is very much into working out and fitness and that type of stuff, and Janelle can't even bother to participate fully in this little 20, probably 30-minute workout class that they have. I honestly feel that the only reason that Janelle wasn't into it is because it was Lee, and she views Lee as her direct competition because Lee and Janelle are Quentin's connections. I think the formatting of this show has to change, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Tommy shows up, and he's talking to the guys. And, we know who the guys are all feeling. But then Tommy once again asks them who is not your connection, who is not a connection for you, whatever the case. Chris once again yells out, Jessica, I'm just not compatible with her. She's combative. She's this, she's that. And I guess I don't understand why Chris keeps doing that. You know what I mean? Like, we get it. I also feel like, why does Tommy keep asking that? By now, you know who these men do not see a connection with, right? So do we really need to have you come in and ask them so that they can shit on these people, both the men and the women, shit on the other group week after week after week? Chris and Jessica don't like each other, okay? They are not compatible. So do we really need to hear them say it every single week? There has to be a better way to figure this out. There has to. Because this is silly, and this is what causes the drama and the arguments, and this is what caused all of this that happened in episode 10. So we find out that Sierra and Jessica are on the chopping block. Marie is the spokesperson for the guys for this week, and he says that the guys feel that Jessica is combative. And it was like, doom, 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 doom. She immediately was upset. She immediately was offended. It was all over her face. You see some of the ladies all be like, oh, okay. He also says that Sierra's playful energy is too much, and a lot of the guys see her as the homie and not really like relationship vibes from her. All right. So let's get to episode 10. This is what y'all are really here for. Okay. So Sierra gets sent home. She knew it. She understood it. She happily skips her ass on off back to the house. Jessica's offended and turned off by being called combative. So her and Janelle are talking. Chris is standing right there, and he's just like, because Chris thought for sure that Jessica would get sent home. That's what Chris wants. Chris does not want Jessica there. He doesn't, right? And I'm going to be real with y'all. Chris is a man that wants a 100% submissive woman. The fact that Jessica is not submissive. The fact that Jessica is not like impressed by the fact that he wants to pay all the bills and he wants to do all this and he wants her to have the soft life by just sitting at home and doing nothing, it bothers him. It bothers him. I think it bothers him that she is somebody that owns her own business. I think that bothers Chris. Chris wants a woman that he can control, that he can lead 100% and say this is what it is and ain't gonna be. And that's why his ass is sitting on this show right now, because he is not having he's having a difficult time finding that 100% submissive woman. So Chris asks Marie, they're all back in the house. Chris asks Marie, how are you feeling? Janelle said, why are we checking on Marie? Why wouldn't we be checking on Jessica? And I think that was a very valid question. Why are we asking Marie how he feels when all he did was just deliver? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand that either. So Janelle said, y'all be wanting us to lean into our feminine energy. So why aren't we rallying around to protect Jessica right now? Because Chris don't like Jessica. That's why. Janelle wants to know, why are they so comfortable calling this black woman combative? Not only in this space, but on national color television. Phil and Quentin said, nah, we didn't say that. That was not our verbiage, okay? We didn't say that. Marie denies saying it and then just kind of walks away because he don't know how to deal in this situation. And I guess that confuses me about Marie, because you peg yourself as an activist and you sit in your blackness and you know how to talk to black people of all walks of life. Why can't you sit in this room full of your peers, full of other black people, and express yourself? You know what? I took the consensus of what the men said and I said it. I used combative. I shouldn't have repeated that word, Jessica. I'm sorry. That's on me. My bad. Why was that so hard to say? I don't understand that. So Chris is sitting there and would not admit to calling her combative. They're looking at him and he's like, it's not even worth me getting into talking about it right now. What do you mean? The formatting of this show has to change. I just don't believe that because somebody might not have a connection there, or their biggest connection left weeks ago, that means that person should be sent home. Shouldn't it be that if you find a connection, y'all go off the show and work it out and date, and then at the reunion we find out how it worked out with y'all? To me, that would make the most sense. Quentin and Janelle have been saying that they are each other's connection for weeks. Aries and Phil for weeks. The two of them should be told, y'all are ready to love, and they go off the show and they date and they do whatever they need to do in their real life with the cameras down, where they are dating and getting to know each other. Let the cameras follow them as they navigate life together as a couple, or whenever they break up. Then by the reunion, we find out, was that, were you guys ready to love each other? That's really how the show should be going. But this whole process of, like, what if they send people home the very first night is stupid. The formatting of this show is stupid. The moment that Phil and Aries started really being a twosome and it was just them two, or the way that Janelle was up Herbert's ass, the two of them, you follow those people, let them date exclusively, and then see if they are ready to love. If they decide that it's not going to work, then you throw their asses back into the pool and they pick another person. That's how the show should go. But sending some, but hey, I'm not a TV show creator, but whatever. If y'all want to call me, I can put together a true dating show that would make a little bit more sense than this. But hey. So Jessica and Janelle are talking, and Jessica said that she's just big on honesty. So for her, she feels a way that she knows that Chris is the one that said combative, and she doesn't like the fact that he won't just admit it and stand on what he said. So now she feels that she does not trust Marie for repeating the word combative. I think Jessica feels a way that Chris has called her combative, and I feel like she's misdirecting her anger and her energy towards Marie. Did Marie have to repeat it? No. And I feel like it's a no because only Chris is saying you're combative. So you can't say the guys feel that you were combative when it's literally one person who you know does not like her. But I still feel like she's directing a lot of anger and venom towards Marie, kind of unnecessarily. Marie says in his confessional that he does not feel that she is combative. Why did you say it then? Why would you say it? 4 men talked. One said she's combative. And you chose to say, well, the guys feel that you're combative. What? Maurier should have been went home, to be honest. He has been in the bottom, I feel like, at least 4 times at this point. His relationship, his connection is truly not there. But okay. The guys tell him that he needs to talk to Jessica. Why can't y'all just be like, Chris said you were combative, girl. Y'all are all adults. It's not about snitching. It's not about snitching. It's about being honest, being transparent. I didn't say that you were combative. Chris said you were combative. The fact that Maurier is like, I don't understand, like, what's this bro code that they have that causes them to not even want to be honest in this particular situation. But okay. So we then have the guys are going fishing. All right. Sans Chris. Chris is not out there yet. But Katerina, Lee, and Aries come out to join them. Quentin catches a fish. Lee is trying to help him take the fish off the hook. Janelle comes yelling out the door, "You caught a fish, babe! Oh, wow! We gonna be eating good!" Like, doing a lot. In the sight, Janelle. Y'all be calling people pick-me's. This is pick-me behavior. I feel like y'all be calling people pick-me's. This is pick-me behavior. But okay. Lee needs to just go ahead and bow out from Quentin. Because Quentin does not know how to balance having Janelle and Lee there. Anytime Janelle is around, Quentin is just drawn to her. That is who Quentin wants to be with. That is Quentin's connection. That's who it is. Lee, have you save your dignity and just bow out from this, sis, because this is not working for you. It's not gonna work. So we then see Chris come out and he gives Lee, were those Versace? He gives her some Versace sandals. She's excited. It seemed very random. We know that even though we're not seeing it so much, Chris or Lee did an interview where she said that her and Chris do have a connection. They've gone out on a lot of dates and they have been talking a lot. But it's like we haven't even seen Lee say that. When Lee is even in the ladies' lounge, she always just mentions Quentin. But okay, sure. So we then see Maurier and Jessica have a conversation. Maurier says that his choice of words were bad. Jessica said that she hasn't had any arguments. She hasn't raised her voice at anybody, which she hasn't. She hasn't. So she does not understand why she would be labeled as combative. She feels that when a label like that is put onto a black woman, it sticks longer with them, especially when you do it on TV, which is true. Which is true. Because now she's going to be looked at as the angry black woman, combative, whatever the case. She said that she is not going to be nasty to Maurier. She's not going to be rude to him. But she is, said that they just going to keep on pushing. Now, I was confused about this conversation because does that mean that you don't want to talk to him anymore? Or I didn't understand what we're going to keep on pushing really meant. Am I the only one? I didn't get where she was going with that, but they're going to keep on pushing. Chris and Aries do a little archery. I forgot they had a connection, to be honest. And Chris feels that he is a better fit for Aries over Phil. Ambition-wise, yes. Because, we don't know what Phil does for work and Phil doesn't switch jobs and all this other stuff. Ambition-wise, career-wise, yes. But I don't think that Aries is going to be the submissive woman or as submissive, I should say, as Chris is gonna want, because as much as Aries is leaning into her femininity, as y'all want to say, and she's being soft and flirtatious, Aries is still really about her shit too. So we'll see. Plus, I just don't think they look good together aesthetically. Aries just seems more like Chris looks like a little boy. And it just seems like, I don't know, when it's Aries and Chris, she looks more like his mother. And it's not saying that Aries looks old, because she doesn't, but she just has a more mature vibe to her. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maria and Katerina are having their first date. Why are we having first dates this late into the season? Because I feel like at this point, y'all should be gone. Y'all don't have connections. So he gives her an amethyst stone and a Amazon Amazonite. Am I saying it wrong? Amazonite. He gives her two stones, tells her what they're for, their healing properties and all that type of stuff. He's grasping. There's no connection with the two of y'all. Y'all have been around each other this entire time, and we have not seen y'all even so much as at these mixers try to have a conversation with each other that's a little more than surface level. This is silly. Janelle and Quentin, he asks her what is her choice of conflict resolution. So last episode, or earlier this episode, when she got into it with Katerina, he said he didn't like the way that she handled that. We have seen her handle things in that manner a number of times already. That is Janelle's personality. Janelle is combative. Janelle is a mean girl. But she said that she likes clear communication. If she is doing something that has offended him or whatever the case, she wants like a very clear example of what it is that she did, so she can know how to fix it, take accountability, acknowledge what she did, and move forward. Aries and Phil, she is now questioning his stability. You should have been well, she wasn't at that conversation, but you should have been questioning his stability from the moment that he was out with your people and he started listing the 50-11 jobs that he had over the course of like the past 5 years. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. The past 5 years, I have been at the same job. The past 2 years, I have been at 2 different companies. Two different companies. And one was just for a year. Before going back to the company I was at initially. Before that, I was at that job for 10 years. You have to have some type of stability. If you're doing a career change, that's different. But it seems like Phil just does a lot of whatever. Remember, he told Kira that he wasn't financially stable at a point in time because he was out of work. So that's something to think about, Aries. You got kids. She then asked him if he's ready to add to a relationship right now. He said that 4 months ago he wouldn't have been able to, but now he is. What has changed in 4 months? Honestly, what has just been so life-changing, a huge revelation, that after 4 months, you are now ready for this? Okay. So we get to the ladies' lounge. Lee tells the ladies that Chris brought her some sandals. The other ladies look salty. They insist on zooming in on Jessica. But Aries and Katerina definitely look away. Katerina and Chris have a little moment where they're talking, and it's like, this is silly, because y'all are not a connection. Katerina is another one grasping for a connection, flailing along, but is somehow still on this show. When there have been people that have had connections with somebody that were sent home. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, the formatting doesn't make sense. So Jessica said that her and Maria are solid. Girl, since when? You just said that y'all was going to push on, but okay. Jessica said that Chris has very visible character flaws. Lee and Kat said that Chris told them that he didn't say combative. Jessica said, well, he lied to y'all and he did. because he did say she was combative. So that is a character flaw because you're lying unnecessarily. And he went and told them that because he wanted to make sure that he will be staying in the process. He lied to y'all. So I hope that when y'all went back and y'all watched this episode as it aired on Friday, that y'all saw that he flat out lied to y'all faces. Aries said that Maurier picked a poor choice of words and did not have to say combative and could have just used a different word, which is true. So some of the, like I said, the onus is on Maurier because you didn't have to repeat that. But I think that I think that Jessica is just throwing too much anger towards Maurier for repeating what was at the men's lounge. So Lee is caping super hard for Chris. So now Lee and Jessica are going back and forth. And it's like, Lee, sweetheart, sis, babe, hun, girl, I want to know how stupid did you feel watching back this episode? Because you're going hard for him when Jessica was right. I just feel like the show brings out the desperation of these women during these lounges. Because y'all be fighting tooth and nail, going balls to the wall hard for these men based off of what they told you, when it's like, look, if Jessica's experience with Chris has been negative, which from what we've seen it has been, and your experience has been positive, you don't get to tell her that she's wrong, and you're wrong because with me, he's different. Yes, he's different with you. He's different with you. It is just so weird to me that and it's going both ways, Jessica and Lee, that they're not understanding that the way that he is with me could possibly be different than the way that he is with another woman on this show. But I just know that Lee and Katarina should have felt stupid because production showed back the times that he did call her combative, including when they were talking, when the men were all talking. He said it. Somebody being that brazen to just lie on camera like that, to tell a bold-faced lie, that is a huge red flag to me. A huge one. A ridiculously huge red flag. So we have Jessica and Chris. So down in the bottom is going to be Chris and then Maurier. Aries takes Maurier out, lets him know that a lot of the women are saying he falls into the friend zone. But he gets to say. So to me, that doesn't make sense. You're in the friend zone. He has no connections, but he's going to be able to stay. Whereas Chris, that actually does have some connections that has connection with Lee, is sent home. Y'all see how this don't make sense? But nonetheless, let's talk about Jessica and Chris's date. So Jessica said that the word combative was off-putting. Tells him the ladies feel he's not ready to love. Chris flat out lies again and says, I didn't say combative. But then turns on, said that whatever Maurier said was his own words. Tells Jessica that she is not his person, but then turns around and says that, you were a connection until I saw the type of person that you are. And you know what? You are combative. You are a mean girl. You and Janelle both. I know Janelle was watching it like, now how I get into it? Janelle, you are a mean girl, sis, and you are combative. But Janelle had no reason to be brought up in this moment. So he then goes on to say that he is trying to respect her as a woman, but she does not respect him as a man. So she says, like, what have I said and when have I not respected you as a man? So she says that I think you are mad about something that does not have anything to do with me. He then goes on to say that you don't know anything about me. He looks like he's fighting back tears. His eyes are getting all red and glossy. He's mad. He's pissed. Tells her, F you and everything about you. Gets up and leaves. In his confessional, he calls her evil and said that she was putting him down as a person. So, on Twitter, It's obvious that their conversation was very heavily edited, right? It's clear. But on Twitter, I guess Jessica tweeted that he actually like flipped over the table and walked out. She deleted that. I guess somebody was able to confirm that he did like flip the table over. I also heard or read, I should say, on Twitter that somebody was saying that she said that he was gay and that's why he got offended. I don't know. I wish we could have saw more of the actual scene because it's clear she said something to him. But I think, and I stand on this, I think a big part of Chris's issue is that Jessica is not acquiescing to what he feels a woman should do in a relationship. I do think that Chris is attracted to her, and I do think that Chris did like her. But I think a big issue for Chris, again, is that Jessica is self sufficient. Jessica's looking for a man for love. She doesn't need a man to provide for her. She doesn't need a man to take care of all her bills. She doesn't need a man for that. And that's what he wants. He wants her to sit back and let him lead 1,000%, no questions asked, and that's just not her. He keeps saying that he wants her to be a softer woman. She's not the softer woman that you want. So I don't know why he didn't just move past it. I don't get that. But if anything, Chris, you were combative in this scene. The fact that Chris like so blatantly lied is wild to me. Jessica's not combative though. She's not combative. So let me know what you guys felt about either one of these episodes. Lord knows the reunion can't come soon enough. Because I feel like now we have a bunch of people left on the show that are not truly in connections with one another. So let's talk about it down below. If you guys have not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.